Welcome back to the Craftic channel. So I am Jen and I am the person behind Craftic. So I wanted to check in with you and how my 100-day project went. So if you're not familiar, I did 100 days of buying no craft supplies, and that's like free or purchased. So like no new craft supplies in my stash for 100 days. So that was from from January 1st through April 10th. I thought I'd let you know like what I learned, what I made, how did it go? Ta-da! And if you are looking closely, you will notice that on day 97 right here, I did buy something. And the funny thing is that it was just one of those days where I was out with friends and we hadn't seen each other in a very long time. And we went to this area in Toronto that's like little Koreatown, and it is just ripe with a temptation. So I did end up buying one pen and one roll of washi tape. It turned out, like I think my restraint was pretty good and it was kind of nice, honestly. And I kind of felt like since I was already at day 97, it was kind of like a little treat for my end of the 100 days, kind of, sort of. So this is my tracker in the Craftic planner. So I'm tracking all the things I'm using up throughout the year. And I think that keeps me really honest of how much I'm actually using versus how much I consume. So for example, for the stickers, I used up 23 sheets, and that's including a few that I decluttered. So that's pretty good. And then I used up just 10 sticker flakes, and that's in 100 days, right? So like, and then one sticky notes pack, and 3.5 skeins, I would say, and one pen, one notebook. I'm still working on that second notebook, and no washi tape. Some thoughts about my 100-day project. I just wanted to mention a few things. So yeah, so like one, I definitely use up things way slower than I think I do. So using a tracker has been really enlightening because it shows me exactly like hardcore, like just here are the facts. You've only used up so many things. You're really not crafting that often. So maybe don't buy as many things. And then, yeah, the temptations are real. I have been staying off of all Meta products. So I'm not checking Instagram or Facebook or Threads. I think I deleted my Threads account anyway. So all of those things, I'm not using them as constant as before. I think I check them like once a day on my laptop. I don't use my phone for them. For the most part, not using Instagram all the time has actually helped with not knowing when there are sales. Like there was one sticker shop that I really liked and she had a sale. I can't remember, I think it was in February. And I found out about it a week later when I checked Instagram, and I was like, oh, this is fantastic. Not being on there has been really helpful. And I realize now that a lot of Instagram posts are kind of like mini marketing posts. So yeah, I feel like it used to be more about like, here's what I made. This is a fun thing I saw, blah, blah, blah. But now it's just become like, I made this thing, will you buy it? And I'm not saying that I'm not guilty of doing that sometimes too, but a lot of times I'm like, here's this thing I made. And a lot of marketing gurus tell you, obviously you should do that. But then at the same time, as a maker, I'm like, well, I just want to tell people what I made. So anyway, moving on. And then I did make up a list of projects I wanted to make at the beginning of the year. And that list is going pretty well. So this one, I will show you my little list of things that I set out to do. So this little list, so it's like you can see it says goals for 2025, and I wrote out 13 projects, and so far I finished 2, and I will just show you them. So this one is a little neck warmer I made for my son, and it has a little slit here so it sits on their necks. I mean, he's a toddler, so I'm trying it to not be like all scrunched up here, and it like actually sits on his neck. I kind of want to make one for myself, honestly. I think this is a cute design. Of course he's not wearing it, but toddlers. And then I made a baby blanket for a friend, and I need to ship it out this week. So I don't think she's watching because she's in like pure like newborn days right now, so she doesn't have time for anything. So she's not watching this, so I can show it off. But yeah, I need to send it out to her because baby's already like 2 months old, I think. And yeah, it's it's time to ship it. Anyway, so it's been really good because I already had yarn that I bought last year, or actually the neck warmer I did buy yarn for specifically last year, but the blanket was just from the stash. Like I knew I had some baby blanket like material that I could use, and then I just picked a few colors that looked good together and I just went for it. So yeah, I used up 3.5 skeins for those 2 projects. And there's a lot more I need to make, but you know, it gets kind of funny. Like I'm honestly not crafting as much as I think I am. So there's that. And then what else did I wrote down here? So I made some notes for my, for this video because I wanted to journal on it and like think about it. So another thing was, you know, breaking my streak. It didn't feel so bad just because I didn't buy anything. I didn't get anything for free. Even when people were posting free supplies on different Facebook groups, I did not take the bait. I was like, no, I don't need it. Honestly, I have enough. So, and I'm even decluttering some stuff. So that's really good. You know, like there were so many times where I would go into a store, like the dollar store, and I would see something like a pack of 5 notebooks for $5. And I was like, this is such a good deal, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, but I've literally used 1 notebook this year. I am struggling to use 1 other notebook in almost 3 months now. I think I've been filling it in since February, and even when I started it, it was halfway full. So yeah, I definitely do not need 5 notebooks, because if I buy 5 notebooks, that's going to take me a full year to use up at best. So now that I know about myself, like how much I'm using things up and how quickly I'm using them, it definitely puts into light, like, okay, if I buy, you know, 20 balls of yarn, you know, like because like Knit Picks is having a sale, then I'm like, well, if I don't actually have a project set out for them or anything like that, and I'm just buying yarn, that yarn, considering I've used up 3.5 skeins in already 3 months, then that means if I buy 20 skeins, that's gonna take me like 2 years. And I already have more than 20 in my closet. So it's like, you know, this is the math that I'm trying to keep in mind when I'm looking at things. So it has really helped with curbing all the temptations. So like no notebooks, anything I see, any stickers, any binders. Like I was looking at the File Effects website, and I was like, I decided that in order to prove to myself that I actually need a new binder, I set out a binder to use at the beginning of February. So I wanted to take some notes for a class I was taking, and I will show you. The notebook is still in my desk. It is perfect. It is the perfect little size. I love it. I got this from Amazon. It's supposedly real leather, but I don't know how real it can be for $30. So anyway, but it is really nice material. And it just works. And I was like, you know what? I put some cute paper that I have. Like I have so much filler paper to use up, and it does the job. And I was like, I honestly think this one is just fine, and I don't need another one. So not only did I prove to myself that I do use them, but I also proved to myself that I didn't need another one. So yeah, that's a win. I mean, the temptations are always there. And, you know, maybe for Christmas, I'll ask, you know, for the nicer one that I want from File Packs, but I don't know. I feel like the urge to get it is kind of gone. So I'll let you know about that. And then what else? So the trackers have been really good for that. Like, you know, keeping this 100-day tracker. So I used to have it back here on my wall. I just took it down because I don't need it anymore. But seeing it get filled out day by day was actually really nice. And I used up, I don't know if you can see this, but like there are a bunch of like random planner stickers on here, like to do, meal prep, bill due, stickers that I never use. Like I particularly don't like these circle stickers. I don't know what it is about them. But some sticker books will come with like dozens of them, and clearly 100 of them, and I still have some left over. So it was really nice not only to use up stickers while filling in this tracker, but also seeing it getting filled up. And it was like, oh, I kind of want to see it filled up. Like it was like that completionist in me. So that was really nice. And yeah, and seeing that stash tracker. So that's how the 100 days went. And it wasn't perfect. You know, I did you know, get tempted by a cute washi tape. And I've already used up a little bit. I used it up in this week's spread, so I know that I'm going to use my stash. And it's like, it's just like this really cute, colorful, springy washi tape that, I don't know, it just screams spring. And yeah, I used it in my planner this week, so I felt like if I start using it right away and not keep it tucked away somewhere, it makes me feel better, because I'm like, well, at least I'm using it already, right? So logic, crafter's logic. There's like girl math, and then there's crafter's math. Anyway, so after the 100 days, what am I doing? So my plan is, honestly, I'm not doing a no buy, because I'm sure there's gonna be something I want or like or whatever, but I am gonna keep these rules in mind. So like I mentioned, you know, like I was originally saying like 3 washi tapes out, 1 in, and I just bought 1. So that means I need to use up 3 to make up for that one, and then use up another 3 if I want to buy another one. And just keep these rules. And honestly, at this point, I've like earned, I think like 5 or 6 sticker sheets, which I may hold out for. And I actually thought that a good way to be more intentional about this was to sign up for newsletters from specific artists. So instead of just kind of scrolling Instagram, I figured maybe I'll just like subscribe. So I subscribed to 1. Maybe I'll buy a few things, I don't know, but don't really feel the urge to buy, because whenever I go through my stash, I think, oh my gosh, I forgot about this, I forgot about that. Like, you know, I'll like open my sticker book and I'll think, there's so many sheets that are, some of them are completely untouched, and you know, I look back at my planner and my notebooks and my little commonplace journal that I mentioned last time, and like, sure, I'm using up stuff in here, but clearly not as quickly as I think I am, not as quickly as I'm buying things or acquiring things. So it's really teaching me about slowing down with the acquisition of things, being intentional with what I have, and just being more intentional with what I bring in, because the clutter, the overwhelming sense of every time I open my binders, or it's like, it's just too much. Like, it's too many decisions to make. And also it's like, there's so many binders to look at that I want to have less binders to open and look at. Also, speaking of binders, I actually emptied out this one. It used to have a bunch of little vinyl stickers in here, and I realized that I could put them into another binder, so now there's one less place to look. And I can't show you the other one because I already gave it away, but I had a reusable sticker book, actually 2 reusable sticker books that I moved all the remainders into another one. So now instead of having 3 sticker books, I have 1, and it's all like the leftovers of different sticker sheets in 1 sticker book. So yeah, so like having less places to look and less decisions to make is making everything so much easier. Especially, I feel like if I don't have a lot of time, I'm noticing that I just don't really, I don't know, like before, I think maybe it's just because I used to just have more energy or just more time in general. I used to just go through all the binders and be like, oh, which one am I gonna pick? Like, I'll pick a sticker from this book and and then I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I just want to open 1, maybe 2 binders and pick out a few things and then stick them down and move on with my life, you know? So yeah, I think maybe it's also a stage of life kind of thing. And yeah, and I think also like right now I'm also reading a lot more, so I'm not picking up, like if I'm not picking up a book, I'm picking up some craft materials, or I'm just like putting stickers down. So I'm not knitting as much. Also, I think as it gets warmer, I have less of an urge to knit. So my projects are also shifting. Like I want to draw more now. I want to like maybe pick up some watercolors. So we'll see how the year goes and what other materials I end up using from my supplies. And one last thing I wanted to mention was that having an accountability group has been essential, and also like having friends who have the same goals as you and hanging out with them. And them letting you know, like, okay, we're at the dollar store. You're not buying anything from the stationery aisle. You're not buying anything from the craft aisle because you don't need it. And having that is actually really, really great. But also just having like an online accountability group. So like the Craftic Discord, it's all about crafting with your stash and other people who are doing either a no buy or a low buy. So basically a lot of us who just kind of talk each other out of buying things and kind of being like, do you really need that thing? Because you probably have like 10 of them. So that's been really helpful. So if you want to join the Discord, I'll put a link in the description down below. And I don't know, I just find it like really great to have people who are in your corner and understand what you're going through. And like, you know, we all have our different reasons for why we're doing these no buy, low buy things. But, you know, it's great that we all can like support each other in that. So that is it. That is it for me. That is how the project went, how I am moving forward with it. And I'll keep you updated if I do another like strict no buy. But at this point, I think it doesn't need to be like an official project. I think it's just going to be like a way of being and just keeping up with using things up. And maybe the next project will be like using up all the good stuff, because there's so many pretty things in my stash that I don't want to use because they're like too nice to use, and saving them for a special occasion. So maybe that'll be another project. I think that'll be a good thing to do. Especially like the nice cashmere yarns that I'm like afraid to use. So anyway, I will leave you with that, and thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.